Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. I'm going to present a lecture, yes, to Master 2 BEM, Banking, Monetary, Economy. So it is titled Business Cycle. So in this lesson, students will be able to identify characteristics of the business cycle. Students will be able to identify and or define the following terms: business cycle, expansion, peak, contraction, and trough. So a business cycle is a period of macroeconomic expansion followed by a period of contraction. There are 4 phases of a business cycle. So the first one is expansion, which it means a period of economic growth. The second is peak, which is the height of the expansion. The third is contraction, which is a period of economic decline. And finally, trough, which is the lowest point of the contraction. When an economy is expanding or growing, many people have jobs and many goods and services are being produced and sold. At the peak of the expansion, gross domestic product is as high as it will go for that particular business cycle. During a period of contraction, more people are unemployed, which means that they are not employed or jobless, and fewer goods and services are being produced and sold. Not all contractions are equally severe. Recessions and depressions. There is a difference between them. Each phase of the business cycle is determined by monitoring gross domestic product. A contraction that lasts for at least 6 months is called a recession. A particularly severe and long contraction is called a depression. The Great Depression was the most severe economic contraction in the history of the world. It permanently changed the way economists think. There are factors which can affect the business cycle. The following 4 factors can affect the business cycle. First is investment in businesses. Second is interest rates. Third is consumer expectations. And fourth and finally, is external shocks. The more money people invest in businesses, the more money businesses have to grow. So, investment affects the business cycle. Interest is the price of borrowed money. When interest rates are high, people borrow less. Businesses borrow less too. Interest rates affect the business cycle. When people are optimistic about the future, they spend more money. Optimism affects the business cycle. Oppositely, or on the opposite, external shocks can be positive or negative. An earthquake is a negative external shock. It affects the business cycle. So throughout American history, there have been many businesses cycles. Questions for reflection. So you are supposed to define the business cycle. You answer the question, what are the 4 phases of the business cycle, and explain each phase. What are the 4 factors that affect the business cycle, and how does each factor affect the business cycle? What is the relationship between gross domestic product and the 4 phases of the business cycle? Plus, try to translate this lesson into Arabic, right, and French if it is possible. Thank you very much. Thank you for your attention.